Hi, this is Maria, and today I'll be sharing with you how I painted this little laneway painting, a tree-lined avenue. So, very welcome to my channel, Artist Maria Burke channel, and here I'm sharing with you my tips, my experience, and inspiration for paintings. Everything on this channel is related to that. So let's get started into this painting. As you see, I'm just doing a line painting. I've left the background snow white. I've just left the canvas. It's a tiny little canvas, really. It's about 8 inches by 12, something on that line. And I'll put the exact measurements in the description. And I'm just really doing it quickly. It's just, I want to keep loose, and I just want to enjoy this, put a lot of color in, and yeah, just get the feeling of the subject matter. So I was recently, I was just really blessed to go to a beautiful place in West Cork, which is probably just about less than an hour's journey from where I live. And it's an old country farm up in the mountains, and it's a place I've been in before, and it has really inspired me to paint in the past as well. So it was lovely to get up there again. It's got a lot of meaning for me and my family, this place. And in this, it's an old farm, but there used to be a lot of cattle and animals. It was a fully thriving farm. Nowadays, it's used for not used as much as it was. You'd have sheep on it, still some cattle. But in the old days, this was one of the laneways used for driving the cattle from one place to the other. It's a little laneway, but today it's not, it's just kind of an overgrown. There's still some pebbles, so it looks more like a footpath, but in the past, this was a lane for driving herds of cattle from one part of the farm to the other. So I just think it was lovely that I got the story as well of this place. And uh, on the day I went up, it was late summer. There had been a really bad storm the night before. And so there was a kind of a wildness about this place. And on this day, there was some sunshine peeping through. The weather kept changing. There was sunshine at times, there was clouds, it got dull. But just when I was photographing this laneway, the sun was peeping through these trees in the gap there between the trees in the center. So what I'm trying to do is highlight that area and keep that area bright and light and sunny and bring in contrasts. Even though we're not looking straight on at a blue sky, I'm aware that that blue sky is there in the background. And so that's why I'm bringing the blue into the highlights, let's say, where the sun is coming through the trees and just picking up the light on those stones in the middle of the passage. And of course it was wet, there was wetness from the storm, so it was glistening. There was a lot of moisture on the ground as well. So yes, some beautiful yellows and greens. I'm painting this early autumn. The day I was there, I think it was just the very, very end of August. And I'm adding quite thick paint there, white paint, just to really draw your attention to that little point under the trees. So I began the painting with the dark lines, with just putting in the lines roughly. I did no sketch for this. This painting is just, the idea of it is not to be perfect. Sometimes I do a background sketch, but really my sketch was done in paint. So I sketched it in very roughly, and then I put in roughly some foliage in green. I put in on the right and the left the banks, and then I started adding the white, the highlights. I put in the blue from the sky all over the painting, the reflections, and now I'm back again when I had it all really, the whole canvas covered. Now I'm coming back in to define my darks again, and just to bring out some of those tree trunks, to go back into them and give them more definition. I'm adding also some extra branches in that I didn't need to add in my first sketch, let's say, my first sketch with the paintbrush. Sometimes you just don't need to put in too much detail when you're beginning the painting, because you're going to paint it out anyway. You're going to be covering it up with broad sweeps of the brush. And as you see here as well, I'm using a tiny brush to finish it off. So this painting, I painted this in less than a half an hour, but I have speeded the painting up, the video up a little, so it's down to 7 minutes. Obviously I cut some pieces out where nothing was happening. And I started with a bigger brush and moved down now to a smaller brush, and just putting in, I'm using a deep green, I think it's like a sap green or a Winsor green, not sure what it is. But basically those deep greens are very, very good for coming back in and just adding realistic foliage and grasses into a painting. So yeah, it's just a very quick painting, and just coming to the end of it now. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you like it. Subscribe if you've got value out of this painting today, and I'll talk to you next time. God bless.